No, that's what it's all about. And, I mentioned public funding, but at the end of the day, the bulk of our funding is philanthropic. And so I would encourage your listeners to look at an organization like Father Joe's Villages, who is effective in what it's doing, that helps those not only who are on the streets, but the community at large.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
San Diego Union Tribune and Retirement Strategies Group present the Union Tribune Community Spotlight Show with your host, Drew Schlossberg.
Well, okay, Drew was here a couple of minutes ago, but Drew has other assignments to do. I'm Dave Mason, in for Drew today, and very proud to be in the studio with Bill Lawrence, who's the president and CEO of the San Diego, let me get this right, the San Diego, it used to be the Historical Society.
Used to be the Historical Society. We're the San Diego History Center.
There you are, in Balboa Park, and also
the Sarah Museum in Presidio Park.
There you are. Your interest in history.
I think I've always been a history buff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a historian. I should be totally transparent.
Well, this is, and I don't mean to interrupt you on this one, but I think that's the exciting part about this, is because you are like the rest of us, a history buff, as opposed to, I'm an expert in history. You're not an expert.
No,
though you're learning.
Well, I'm constantly learning,
yeah.
And that's one of the great things about the job I have, is that I get to work with a talented staff, a great board of trustees, and I'm constantly learning. And we have this amazing archive in the repository of our region's history. And it's something that, I get to go down into the collections and talk with our collections folks on a daily basis, but you're welcome to come and do that as well. Not only that, we have our exhibits, which are entertaining, engaging, thought-provoking. That's also a way that we help connect you with our region's history. I came to know history or be interested in history the way many people do. It's through our genealogy. It's where did we come from? I grew up in Ohio, came to San Diego via the San Francisco Bay Area in 1976, and I was fortunate to be able to come to San Diego, attend San Diego State University, and never left. I was able to find a job in broadcasting, and I've been really, really fortunate to be able to stay here. And now I have the dream job. I get to work with folks and just talk about what an incredible region we live in, what an incredible city.
It really is.
And to talk about how it's become the 8th largest city in the nation, and culturally diverse, enriched. It's very much a different place than when I came here in 1976.
Oh, I'll bet.
And you've seen it. You came in, 1999, you said?
That's when we moved out here. Yeah, I first came down, when I was in the Army, I was at Hunter Liggett Military Reservation, which there is back then we had the general store, we had the PX, of course, for the Army, and there was a mission. There still is the mission yes. San Antonio,
yes.
in Halone, California, and the post office there. And I think the population back then was 3.
Yeah.
I grew up in New York, and we learned a little bit about California history and the missions and Junipero Serra.
Yeah. But it's so much more than just
didn't really realize that just the expanse just of that the mission that he was on.
Yeah.
And people with him in creating, I guess the first mission was here in San Diego.
Well, the first mission in Alta California. It becomes because there's a rich mission history in Mexico as well, and don't forget that before the 1850 California statehood and the establishment of this part of the region becoming part of the United States, there was no border. So this region, and one of the things that I believe San Diego as a community really values today is this location on the border with Mexico, the gateway to the Pacific.
Sure.
That's one of the things that really makes us a very unique part of our country. And so that our history is multi-layered, it's multicultural, and it's really fascinating.
And it goes a lot for some of the oldest buildings in downtown San Diego. They date back to the
1800s.
To the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And it goes so much further back than that.
Absolutely.
This whole area.
Yeah.
It was, you mentioned earlier the indigenous people here, the Kumeyaay Indians, and a lot more, and people that really spent a lot of time here appreciated the beauty, and in some cases were affected, sometimes positively, sometimes not so positively, by other people showing up.
Yeah, history is not. History is complex. It's also messy, and I think that we do a disservice if we try and just say there's only one narrative of history. It's important to understand that there are complexities and multiple layers to that. So understanding that history, and it's not always pleasant, and it's not always something that we may necessarily be proud of, but it's important to understand so we make sure it doesn't happen again.
But you said earlier, is it the people who don't know about history are sometimes doomed to repeat
it? Yes.
Yeah, and in some cases, that's not something we want to see happen.
No, absolutely, and that's one of the roles that we play in the community is understanding the community of this region. Now, we're fortunate is that our main facility is in Balboa Park. It's the cultural jewel of San Diego. What a tremendous resource that is. We have 19 cultural institutions that we get to be part of, and we're really the Smithsonian of the West, if you think about it. Where else in this country, other than Washington, D.C. and San Diego, do you get this depth and breadth of history, art, science, and culture that happens in Balboa Park? So that's it. I'm veering off a little bit from your question,
No,
but
all right.
but it's not just the History Center, but it's Balboa Park as a regional asset. But we're part of that, and again, understanding where we've been, how we've come to who we are today, whether you are a San Diego native, fifth or sixth generation San Diegan, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Or if you're a student that's newly come from Ohio to go to UCSD because
like you were,
or San Diego State in my case, we want you to connect with this community. We're an important part of connecting you to the community. So, and we're a community resource. We're a nonprofit, so we subsist by donation, and it's important that we have community support. By the way, our exhibits and our museums are donation based. We don't charge an admission.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So it's just whatever you want to pay.
It's whatever you want to contribute.
The word is not paid.
Yes. There are other models for this, but in 2016 we made a conscious decision that to remove one of the barriers that people have to understanding and connecting with the history of our community, and that's an admission fee. Now that doesn't mean that we subsist and we don't need help. We do. Contributions are the singular greatest piece of revenue for us. It's critical to supporting our mission, which is preserving, revealing, and promoting the history of the San Diego region.
Wow. Now, you also will have an impact on the future of San Diego.
Absolutely, yes. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that over the last year we've been working on not a sexy title, but a new master plan for the San Diego History Center. And what that is going to do is it's a project that will reinvigorate, change the visitor experience. And all of these are internal phrases that we use that are not that great in dealing with the public, but and I need to have a better PR plan for this.
Yeah, whatever.
But really, in the next couple of years, we're going to be completely changing the way we interface with the community at our facility in Balboa Park. We've done this change at the Serra Museum in Presidio Park, and I would invite everyone to come in and visit this. The Serra Museum is open on the weekends during this time of the year because it's we do school groups Monday through Friday, but on the weekends come between 10 and 4 p.m. and come visit us at the Serra Museum, and you'll have a completely different understanding of the early history of this region.
And you have a website.
We do have a website, sandiegohistory.org.
Nice, very nice. When was the whole San Diego History Center created?
Well, We were established in 1928 as the San Diego Historical Society, and up until 1981, 1982, we're located at the Serra Museum in Presidio Park. We moved to this facility in Balboa Park 1981, 1982, after the building was rebuilt by the city of San Diego. It was previously housed the San Diego Air and Space Museum and was destroyed by an arson fire in 1979.
Wow. So Balboa Park is a perfect place to be.
Well, it's, if you think about it, it is the cultural hub of San Diego.
Yeah.
So we want to be part of that. We are a great part of that.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great past history and a great future.
We do, and I should say that we've got some really neat exhibits that are going to be opening within the next couple months. The first is Nate Harrison. It's for longtime San Diegans, they'll recognize the name. But the title of the show the exhibit is Nate Harrison, Born a Slave, Died a San Diego Legend. Nate Harrison came to San Diego. He was born as a slave in Kentucky, came to California with the gold rush, and then came to San Diego and was freed and became a free black man.
Wow.
And that's going to be opening along with Celebrate San Diego, the African American experience in San Diego, or African American history. We are continuing our LGBT exhibit.
Beautiful.
Which will run for the next year as well.
All right, that's the show. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's a pleasure. Again,
SanDiegoHistory.org. Visit their website and visit the San Diego History Center. This is the Community Spotlight.
Thank you for listening to a podcast from Cloudcast Media, the digital media home for leading local brands. When it comes to amplifying your brand, a Cloudcast-sponsored show offers unbeatable value. Learn more at cloudcast.us.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.
Welcome to Cloudcast 180, the 3-minute lightning round with changemakers here in San Diego. We're here with Ed Heiner, 20-year Navy SEAL, best-selling author, and education entrepreneur. Ed, welcome to the Cloudcast 180.
Thanks for having me.
Your book was called First Fast Fearless, so let's hit this fast and fearlessly. Real quick, you created a program to help change lives of high school students around the country. It's called SEALpreneurship. Tell our audience what it's all about.
Well, it's about leading yourself. Getting a PhD in me, I teach kids how to take care of themselves and lead themselves first, and how to be their own intrapreneur, if you will.
Is it something you think public education is lacking, this concept of self-leadership?
Absolutely. It's a mindset that kids don't get. My son doesn't get it in his school. The kids don't get it. It's something that, we're educating them, but to be mentally tough and be able to take charge of themselves and accountable for themselves is very unique.
Okay. I've seen an overview of your curriculum, 23 evolutions, and you have a 23-minute podcast series. So what's up with 23?
Chromosomes, right? It's all in all of us. We're all the same. 99.9% of everybody in this world is the same. And we use those chromosomes, 23 pairs, which was one of the concepts we teach is swim buddies, never be alone. Mm-hmm. Always work with someone else, collaborate, and be out there.
Boy, that's a lesson for life for sure. Ed, you were in charge of basic and advanced training for the U.S. Navy SEALs, and I mentioned you're a 20-year SEAL. Tell our audience the greatest lesson from the SEALs that have changed you forever.
Probably in the back of a helicopter one night in Iraq before I was getting ready to fly into an Al-Qaeda target, it dawned on me that when a pilot said, you have this many souls on board, it dawned on me that the opposite of fear is love. It's not else. I don't fight for what I hate in front of me. I fight for what's beside me, behind me, that I love.
Wow, it's a powerful concept. Wow. You've talked a lot about the blue-collar scholar as a concept. Fascinating. Tell our audience, what is the blue-collar scholar as it relates to your SEALpreneurship program?
It's a mental concept where people take control. Don't outsource their life. Look, we're going to have people that are in white coats, suits and ties, doctors, PhDs. That's fine. Listen to that and learn your information from them. But eventually, you got to be that mechanic in your own life. You got to turn the wrench. This is happening. So basically, take control of your own life. Use what you can use from other people. Discard it, what you can't, and make that your own. Leadership is something that you do. It's you do with people, not to them. And one of the best forms of leadership I learned in the back of that helicopter is called MOM.
Ed,
Focus
thanks.
on mission, others, and me.
Mission, others, me. Ed, thank you for being here. This has been the Cloudcast 180. We hit it fast and fearlessly. We're out.
Cloudcast 180. Powerful people, powerful stories, 180 seconds.